It's time to plot book 2, and I'm very excited about it. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie, and I am writing my first book and my second book. And this second book is the one that I'm going to plot today. I've been working on it on and off for an entire year, and I am finally going to take the time to really work out the story so I can get ready to write it. I recently did all the world building I needed to get started, and now it's time to plot. And this vlog is going to encompass coming up with a very rough plot. And by rough plot, I mean I'm going to fill in the plot part of my plot grid, which is also another version of an outline. So I have come up with a rough plot before many months ago, and I recently sat down with that plot in mind and sort of strengthened the plot. And within the time frame, this was pretty miraculous, I have to say. Within the time frame of about an hour, I plotted the entire story. Now, it was very, very rough, but I built the 3-act structure. In Act 1, there's something specific going on, Act 2, Act 3, and I feel like the story really flows between the acts, and I'm really excited about where it's going. So what I'm going to do over the course of this vlog is take that outline, expand upon it, and make a really good plot grid / outline. This will not be the final plot or the final plotting vlog that I have. I'm not gonna plot out my entire novel in one vlog. I just don't have the time or capacity to do that right now. So this vlog is just gonna be, let me fill out every single chapter with the plot. I'm not gonna pay too much attention with the characters or other things. Like, I'll fill it in as I go along, but I'm not going to focus on building that. I'm just going to focus on the story itself. Tonight, I am actually just going to scribble in my notebook. For me, this is one of the best ways to organize my thoughts and to come up with new ideas, is just scribbling in my notebook, outlining chapters, brainstorming. I do little bubbles and arrows, and I'm going to do that tonight so I can kind of organize my thoughts a little bit, make more out of what I have. And then tomorrow I'm going to build my plot grid, which is actually the video that came before this. I know it's a little weird, but I'm gonna put that video before this, so you will have already seen my plot grid and how I make it. I will be doing that tomorrow, and then I will start filling in my plot grid. And I'm very excited about it because I really love my plot grid. I think it helps me organize my thoughts and see the bigger picture of things. Tonight's gonna be a little bit of a warm-up, and then I'm gonna really jump into it tomorrow. So I'm gonna take it easy tonight, just sit on the couch, work in my notebook, watch a TV episode, maybe do something else, and tomorrow the real work will begin. Good morning. It is going to be a very exciting day because I'm going to start plotting out my novel on the computer. I cannot wait. I made my hot chocolate. Also, look at my mugs. I got new mugs. I think it's really pretty. I saw them and I was just like, I gotta get these. So I got my hot chocolate ready, which means it's going to be a long morning. I have a lot of work to do and I need to focus. First, I'm going to create my plot grid, meaning set it up, make all the rows and columns. And I have another video. I'm going to make the video while I do this that explains everything I do and how I do it. So please check that video out if you want to learn more about a plot grid. It's how I outline my novel. And once the plot grid is set up, I'm going to start filling it out. And I think that's going to be, honestly, I'm really giddy over this. The more I work on this book, like last night, I kind of expanded on the plot a little bit in my scribbles. And just the more I work on it, the more excited I get. And it's just a very interesting feeling because it's been a while since I felt this way. I'm just happy to have a project that I look forward to this much and that gets me this excited. So my goal today, in terms of filling it out, obviously I won't finish it today, but I think what I want to do is go through, put in very basic outline for the entire book, and then go back to the plot and start expanding on it, like what happens in the scenes, and still be pretty basic about it. And I think what I want to do this time around with the plot grid is be kind of iterative with it and put in more and more things as time goes on and just keep making passes and make it more detailed. My goal for this vlog is just to have a pretty basic plot grid, just maybe a sentence or two in each cell for the plot and the characters, and maybe a phrase for like the minor things, so I can have something to work with in future vlogs and in the future. And then as time goes on and I keep working on this plot grid, I'll just make it more and more detailed to the point where eventually it will be finished and I'll be ready to write this book. All right, it's time to film this video. I just want to get this video over with so I can start plotting. That's really what I want to do, but I kind of have to make it first. So here we go. I'm roughly 50% of the way through making the plot for my book, and it's honestly going a lot slower than I wanted it to, but I'm really happy that I've at least got 50%. So I put 40 chapters in there to start, and I'm on chapter 20. There are places where I realize there needs to be more in between events, and so I just put in a filler chapter, like some kind of event here, and I will be filling that in at some point. I just don't think right now is the right time. I need to get through and make an entire plot before I decide what to fill in where. My goal is to just get a plot down on paper, and then I can figure out all the details at a later date, because I know I'm not going to plot an entire novel like in one weekend and have it be everything I need. The reason it's going so slow is just because my mind is going a million miles a minute, and it's very distracting as I try to plot out this novel. I'll sit there, and as I'm typing a phrase for whatever is happening that I want to record in the plot, I will think of 5 other things that are happening either before this scene, after this scene, or during this scene. And I'm trying to keep all these thoughts in my head so I don't lose them. And at the same time, I'm trying to focus on what is going on like in that scene, in that moment, and what I'm writing on the paper. And it's just really hard. And then I have to stop and go back. Sometimes I'll go back and add something I thought about so I don't forget. Other times I'm like, oh, I'll probably just make a mental note of this and move on. And then for the future stuff, I have no idea where to put that because I haven't gotten that far. And so it's just hanging out in the back of my head, and I hope I don't forget it. And I think it's also just the excitement of starting a new novel. Like, I'm thinking up more character stuff. I'm thinking up more scenes. I'm thinking up kind of like creative ways to do things and ways to work magic in and ways to work, I don't know, description in. And it's just a lot for my brain to handle because this book is such a blank slate and there are so many possibilities and so many things that still need exploring. And my mind is just trying to do it all at once. But I am focusing on the plot, so I haven't really written down anything related to character development or relationships or world history. I'm saving that for when I finish my plot, because once my plot is done and I kind of have the scenes arranged in the order I want them, then I can start filling in all the other stuff like the details. I just want a really solid plot before I go too far into the book, because I've done this in the past where I get so focused on the character stuff or the world stuff that the plot kind of falls by the wayside. And so I'm gonna, this time around when I'm doing this book, focus really hard on getting a good plot and then work in the character stuff and the world stuff as I go along. I do think that this slowness problem I have will ease with time. As I fill in the plot grid, I will have less thoughts in general, and it'll be easier for me to see where to put things and to capture these random thoughts that I get, as opposed to just trying to contain them all and wonder about where they'll go. I do look forward to that point in time. I don't know when it'll be, probably several weeks from now, but at least I've started and I'm making progress, even though it's slow. I'm getting some stuff down, and the more I put down, the less I will have to do later. So it's getting close to dinner time, and I am probably gonna call it quits for the day. I need to make dinner and do a few more things. And I am trying, as also an experiment in this book, to take a little more time off. I tend to go really hard when I write and just focus all my energy on writing. And so basically it's like I get home from work, I do what I need to do, and then I write until I need to go to bed. And then on the weekends, I spend every moment I can writing. And sometimes I forego relaxation or fun things or even things I need to do just because I want to get so much writing done. And I've just felt like, especially over the last few months, that for me mentally, that's not super healthy. So one thing I'm trying to do as I write this book is work in some fun activities, even if it's just for like a half hour, an hour, so I can relax and kind of reset my mental state and not get so caught up in my head over my book. And tonight I'm probably going to do a few things around the apartment, and I bet I will still work on my book even if it's just like a half hour or so, just because I will have the time tonight. But I am not going to make tonight the sole focus of writing. And I will pick this back up tomorrow. I unfortunately won't have a lot of time to work on this tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how much I can get done. It's getting dark, so I'm going to go ahead and record. And yes, I'm in a new place. I am cat sitting tonight, so I get to enjoy the company of a few kitties before I go to work tomorrow. I do have my plot going all the way through to the end. This morning, I got really frustrated with how little progress I was making, and I was like, I just want to map out everything that happens to the end. So for every chapter, I literally wrote 5 or 6 words like character goes here, next chapter character does this, and it's not very descriptive, it's not complete, and it really isn't a true plot. It's just I wanted to see how far I went, and I went to 35 chapters, which I think is a little too short. But I know that as I start adding stuff in and filling in the details, I'll probably add a few more chapters here and there, and that will bump up the chapter count. So once I did that, I went back to the beginning, and I'm starting to really fill out the plot. I'm still not doing the characters and the magic and all that stuff. I'm solely focusing on the plot, what is happening in the chapter. And I've got probably the first 8 or 9 chapters pretty complete. And these cells in Excel are so much larger than the ones I did for Project Lily. I'm putting as much as I can in there. And the funny thing to me is that so much more well explained, and I'm not even it's not even 100% detailed and explained yet. I'd say it's probably around 50, and that's what I'm aiming for. Is I want to get 50% all the way through the plot of the entire book. I've got quite a bit more still to do, but I'm finding it easier now that I have stuff to go from. It's easier for me to just make mental leaps in my mind about, okay, if this is happening, then this needs to happen, and then this needs to happen. And I'm kind of creating little scenes and scenarios in my head as I go. And maybe I'll find a way to work those in. Maybe I won't. I'm not going to attach myself to anything right now. I'm happy with the way it's going. I just wish I could go faster, but I think I'm in this planning stage where it's just taking a long time to think of things, and I'm trying to calm my mind as I do this so I can focus on what I need to do and not have a million thoughts like I talked about yesterday. But that's still a struggle, probably will be for a while. Because I'm going to work tomorrow, I'm not going to have tons of time to work on this throughout the week. So I will just check back in with you at some point, and that's going to be when I've gotten a complete plot or it's just going to be me having some revelation, but it'll probably be me having a complete plot. I'm calling it done with the plot for now. I still have much more work to do to fill out my entire plot grid, but I at least have the plot settled. And my plot is not completely done either. I still have a lot more work to do to flesh out all the details, especially towards the end. But what I found happening was, as I was going through and towards the middle and the end of the story, more and more was uncertain because I haven't really worked on tons of character development stuff yet. And what I found is a lot of the things I needed to know in order to complete my plot were things like, what does a certain character want to do in the situation? Or what is their goal that would drive them to make a certain decision? And in many cases, pretty much starting at the middle of the book, I didn't really fully understand what those motivations were, what those goals were. You know, I of course have a main goal for every character and things like that, but looking at how they respond and how they decide and how their decisions can alter the plot, that's where I started to feel a little stuck, because yes, I wanted certain things to happen, but at the same time, I would come up with a situation and I'd just be like, well, it really depends on what this character does, and I'm not sure what this character would do yet. And that's fine. Like, it's not a stopping point or something I have to figure, I mean, I do have to figure out, but it's not something that I feel stuck with in the sense that I can't figure it out. It's just that I haven't had the opportunity or the time to figure it out yet. So I'm going to stop working on the main plot right now, and I'm going to start working on the characters and the countries and anything else that's in my plot grid. There's a lot in my plot grid, and I'm just going to go through and start filling it out. It's going to take a long time to get everything filled out and to really think through character arcs, relationships, politics, and everything. It's going to be a lot. I've started working on it a little bit while working on my main plot, but there's still a lot left undecided. But I am really excited about this plot. I keep coming up with random ideas here and there that make it really better than what I had, hours before. And I just feel like every moment I get to work on this book, there's another chance for me to make it better. And I think that over time, as I fill in the plot grid and continue working on this book, it'll just get better and better. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. This is going to be, I guess, part 1 of plotting my book. I don't know how many parts there's going to be. It depends how long it takes for me to plot out my book. But this will be part 1. Part 2 will be me filling in the plot grid for quite some time. I hope I can get a lot done. I'm going to think on it a little bit how I want to break it up, or if I just want to attack it all at once. That's to be decided, and you'll definitely find out what I'm doing in the next vlog.